When I first started writing Daddy Issues, it actually started off as a memoir. And then it turned into this like self-help book. But then I really wanted to lie. And I wanted to be able to kind of shift some of the interactions that I actually personally went through and explore other options within those same interactions. That's how it ended up becoming a novel. So there are four main characters in the book. Nadia, very much type A, mama hen. I have a plan A through Z, and I call all the shots type of character. Zaraya, she wants to fix everything. She's not going to sit a long time with there being an issue or a need before just jumping up and doing. Chelsea is kind of flighty. When she sees that something is not going to go her way, or there's an issue, or it's something scary, she's like, I'm out, I'm done. Cameron, she wants to take up for everyone. She wants to make sure that everyone has a say and they get their justice. In a very exaggerated way, I am all four of these women in different parts of my life, but they all balance each other out when it's me. But when it's just a character, there it's very exaggerated and over the top. This is what I wanted to kind of show. In an argument, both sides can actually be right. Both sides can actually be telling the same truth. If you just look at it just a little bit like this, if you just turn that picture like this, it's a completely different story than if you're looking at it straight on. So in a space where both people can be right, then who wins the argument? There is no winner. You have to come to a compromise. That's where I felt it was important for you to see both perspectives of the same events so that you as the reader could understand the need for compromise and communication. What that means is mothers all around, especially in our community. Maybe you're very religious or you're very wealthy and you have the status that you want to maintain. You want to be able to control the narrative all the time. And that's exactly what Nadia's mom does. If anything comes in and to threaten that family portrait, she's going to work her magic because she doesn't want anyone to notice that perhaps the picture and the photo doesn't necessarily match what happens in real life. A lot of women are afraid. So instead of directly dealing with a lot of the issues as a community, we find ourselves sweeping it a lot of it under the rug and ignoring it and moving past it because we don't want to acknowledge that those issues are there. We'd rather just hide them and keep going. We have four married women who are putting on a conference to empower other women. Yes, it's fictional, but this idea that even with their mess and all of this craziness that's going on in their personal lives, they are still able to pour into others simply because they took the time to acknowledge that they have issues. And there is nothing wrong with that. It is not a curse. You do not have to lay out and give your life and say, it's over, it's all going downhill. You can still be dope. You can still be a boss. You can still be strong. You can still be all of the things that you are. But now you get to do it healthy. I wish I could sit here and say, don't worry about what people think. You do you, you be great. I wish that I could say that and really sincerely mean it. We live in a day and age where what you say and what you do and what you endorse really matters. So endorse and say and do what you want to say, do, and endorse. A lot of times we find ourselves doing things based on what's popular or based on information or advice that we're getting. And then we're left with the consequences to pick up the pieces. And those people who advised us in those areas are nowhere to be found, or they feel like, well, that's your fault. You made the choice. So I think At the end of the day, do what you want to do, then guess what? There's no regrets. One thing that is a cliche saying, maybe I made it up or maybe it came from someone else. If you don't call a spade, you won't win the game. If you're playing with a seasoned player and you throw out your spade in the game of spades and you don't collect your book, they're not going to tell you, oh, that's your book, young blood. They're going to take your book. They're not going to tell you. If you think you lost, they're not going to help you win. You have to acknowledge that the insecurity is there. We are taught in the Christian community, in the Black community, or just in the community of trying to be strong. I'm not broke, I'm blessed. I'm not weak, I'm strong. Like, we're taught to say all of these things. I mean, there's a scripture, right? Speak things that are not as though they were. But here's the reality. If you don't know what is, then how can you speak against? So I have to acknowledge I am insecure about X, Y, and Z. Now, what's the game plan to deal with that insecurity? It's also important to seek the truth. Insecurities come because there's a fear that you can't do it. So you have to figure out, where did that fear come from? Who told you that you can't X, Y, and Z? What happened to you to make you think that you can't? And then we can move past that. So that way you can start winning the game. You have to be so sure about your truth and what you're speaking. And when you are very sure about your truth, what you're speaking, and your intentions behind what you're saying, you just have to accept the fact that not everybody is going to get it the way that you get it. So there is going to always be room for miscommunication, for people to interpret things the wrong way and completely miss what you're actually trying to say, what you're actually trying to do. That's going to happen, but that should not stop you from speaking the truth that you know is truthful. Because in the end, keeping it in and holding it to yourself does more damage. Plant your seed of truth, because down the line, if it really is truthful and if your intentions are really great and your heart is really in the right place, those people are going to come back and ask you once things calm down. They're going to come back and they're going to ask you, and you're going to be able to explain it. And guess what? You'll probably have to explain it, then explain it again, and then explain it one more time before they get it. But you still hold on to your truth. One of the biggest missions of MoffettBooks is to create a book that A, you want to read. Create a book that B, you want to escape in. So once you start reading, you then escape into that story because it's so good and it draws you in. And then I want you to walk away with some truth in mind, some golden nugget, or some type of empowerment to live the next day or the next moments until I can get back into that book and do it all over again. Of course, wonderful books. And we will also have virtual book clubs under the umbrella of MoffettBooks. And the name of that virtual book club is called EDGE, EDGE, Every Day, Give Everything. Now, what's next is the interactive guide, which will be coming out very soon, and it aligns perfectly with the novel so that you, the reader, can experience the growth journeys of the characters in the novel while you're filling out that interactive guide. So make sure you stay on the lookout for that. And also book number 2, the sequel, which is actually a prequel to Hello, My Name Is and I Have Daddy Issues. It's called 27 Floors. It will be out very soon. So I'm super excited and I can't wait to produce more things to share with you all. Escape, read, truth with my